It's such a privilege for me to be here today, just as it's such a privilege for me to be a part of my family business. And, kind of going on from what she was saying, firstly, we have to spend a lot more time together. Taking from there, because that's what I wanted to talk about, is I feel like I wouldn't have had this perspective that being a part of my business, my father's business, is a privilege if I was forced into it. So I was very fortunate that I was always given the choice. There was no compulsion or expectation. And what expectation was there was to excel, right? So when I wanted to choose the path of yoga and spirituality, well-being, my father was very clear. You're not going door to door, home to home, teaching yoga for too long. I want you to think about how you can make this into a business. And at that time, it felt like a lot of pressure, but I actually learned to channel my energy towards something that I love doing. And when the time was right, when I found my voice, when I realized what value I can bring into the world, I was ready to, in my 30s, join the business. And it's still a pretty strong inner conflict for me. And I was telling Ashton earlier today that when you're in the business of people coming willingly to change, and in an organization when you have to inspire that because people are resistant to change, that's one of my biggest challenges in this whole conversation. And I'm glad that so many people brought up technology, because we're talking about a very fast-paced world where efficiency is key, and yet we have systems and technologies that are not supporting that. And when you want to do this, you want to bring this change about, you really have to convince people, you have to learn to work at their pace, meet them at their level, because for a lot of them, it's for human beings, it's a habit thing. If you're used to something going a certain way, it's very difficult to change, especially as you get older. So I think this is a very important conversation, and that's another challenge I face, even though I'm not technologically that sound myself. My husband knows that. So it's, even for me, there's that resistance, but you have to keep allowing that to happen. And when it comes to my father, while he's very open, what happens is he'll say, okay, I give you the mandate, drive this. But then people will come in, senior people will come in and say, we can't focus on our actual work, And so then it gets delayed, it gets pushed back. And you have to have that patience and persevere and gently, I always say, you have to flow like water. You have to just meander and find your path around obstacles. And I think that's what I'm learning day on day. I'm really far from it. And I feel like obstacles come in all the time. But I will come back to one thing. I feel like it's very important for any young person who is being asked to join the business to get clear on what your purpose is. Why are you there? Because if you don't have that sorted out in your head, it will be hard for you to sustain. And you can be there for multiple reasons. You studied that in college because it was what you were meant to do. It could be that you have ambition. You suddenly are very drawn to the product. The market is exciting. It could be that you just love your parent. I mean, in my case, that's one of the reasons I'm there, that I thought this is the best way for me to get more time with him and learn from him. And also, of course, if you believe that you have some value to add, and I think I was talking earlier to you guys, that it takes a few years to figure out where you need to be as well. So for me, the natural thing was to go into HR because I'm a people person. I'm slowly becoming not a people person. But I now really want to move towards the innovation side of things, because I'm also very drawn to the fact that in power, there's great potential for sustainability and for the planet, which is my first love anyway. So this is where I see that there's so much room for us to find our path, but we have to be patient and you have to make mistakes. That trial and error will always happen, without which you'll probably not know what's your place of comfort and joy. And after a while, even that changes, because we humans are built like that. We'll hit a peak and then we need to find another one.